Alright, I'm gonna play your favorite episode of Dragon Ball Z, and we're gonna fast forward through some of it, alright?
Okay.
Stay with me on this one. Alright.
So, the Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkiachi series is officially back in the form of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The game has sold a lot of copies and it is peak. However, before I talk about that, I want to discuss my experience with the anime. Dragon Ball is a franchise I did grow up with. I vaguely remember watching Dragon Ball Z back when it was on Cartoon Network. The anime, based on the manga created by the late Akira Toriyama, is a very iconic one, especially in Mexico where it is insanely popular, with there being screenings of Super's Tournament of Power arc and many bootleg Goku taco trucks. I also hear legends that if you utter Goku's name, you can survive the cartel.
Goku. Goku. Oh no. Enos Goku, let's get the hell out of here.
Dragon Ball is not just popular in Mexico, but in the United States as well. It's been a household name for decades at this point. People in Japan, its country of origin, even voted it as the greatest anime of all time. Dragon Ball Z was definitely a part of my childhood back in the day, and I remember GT was airing around the same time. However, as time went by, I was more into Naruto and Yu-Gi-Oh! That mainly had to do with Dragon Ball being off the air by the time I was out of elementary school. It wasn't until Nicktoons started airing Dragon Ball Z Kai that I truly got into the show. I even remember talking to a student in junior high about how excited we were about the show coming back after a promo aired. I remember my younger brother really being into it too, and Kai was one of the shows we would occasionally watch together. I even remember he sang the theme occasionally when we watched. And who wouldn't? The theme is a banger for sure. Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, there's so much to be found. We can't find paradise. All we have to do is go free your soul. Dragon Soul. While I did watch Dragon Ball Z every now and then growing up, one thing I didn't get to experience were the video games, since at the height of its popularity on Cartoon Network, I had no console. And man oh man, there are a ton of Dragon Ball games out there, especially now. The recent of which being the fourth entry in the Budokai Tenkaichi series, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And this game made me fall in love with the Dragon Ball franchise all over again. What I love about Sparking Zero is that it has a ton of characters at launch, something modern fighting games aside from Smash rarely have in the age of DLC. Sparking Zero has a whopping 181 characters. From what I've heard, Budokai Tenkaichi 1 through 3 had a lot of characters too, so this game is very faithful in that regard. In this game we have characters from Dragon Ball Z, the Z movies, GT, and Super. This also includes a lot of versions of Goku, but it makes sense as they are versions of him from different points in time in Z and Super. Unfortunately though, there are no OG Dragon Ball characters like in the other Budokai Tenkaichi games aside from Kid Goku and Roshi, who has a Jackie Chun outfit. Still, Dragon Ball has gotten a bigger cast since Super came along, so I get why OG characters aren't there, along with Dr. Slump characters like Arale.
I am never fighting someone from an 80s gag manga again.
Regardless, I am glad all major Dragon Ball characters are base game, unlike Xenoverse 2 and its big slew of DLC. Sparking Zero is getting DLC too, but I am down for it since the base game is blessed with a massive roster already. Xenoverse 2 is in my Steam library, but I haven't touched it and don't know if I will due to how great Sparking Zero is. I was highly anticipating this game before it came out, and I enjoyed what I played of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Prior, I mainly played FighterZ as it was the latest fighting game title in the Dragon Ball series. I enjoyed playing it, but I got my ass beat a ton online. Not surprised, as it is a competitive fighting game and I am not the best at video games. However, Sparking Zero is much different from FighterZ in that it is a Dragon Ball game for fans of the franchise that happens to also be a fighting game. Unlike FighterZ, which is a 2D fighting game, Sparking Zero is a 3D arena fighter. I love the 3D environments and the ability to fly and charge ki in order to Kamehameha. Unlike Fighters, which nerfs characters due to balance, this game is chock full of powerful broken characters, which is more accurate to the series as characters from this franchise are really tough. It is a great adaptation of the anime because of that. That includes the canon-accurate Grade 8 Vegeta, whose AI is really tough in the Goku story mode. I saw Vegeta's chuckling face so many times as I lost, and yes, I caved in lower difficulty.
I do not like this painting, Charlie. Smug aura mocks me. It's evil, Charlie.
Anyway, like an IGN critic reviewing Spider-Man PS4, I gotta say that playing Sparking Zero really makes you feel like a Super Saiyan. It is amazing, and I am sure people who grew up with the Budokai Tenkaichi games had that feeling too back in the day. So far, I've been playing as Z Future Trunks, Yajirobe, GT Goku, and Boo. I really like Trunks and using his sword. I find Yajirobe to be a funny character as he sounds like Muscle Man from regular show. He also can heal himself with Senzu beans. I've also played as Cell and Super Broly. My main character that I play as that's always consistent on my teams though is always GT Goku. Overall, I really like how this game embraces all of Dragon Ball anime, including GT, even if it is an alternate timeline now. The game overall is crazy fun, however, due to my bad rural internet with a low download upload speed from the middle of nowhere, I haven't been able to have a stable game online even on my new beefy gaming PC. The only way I've been able to play online, oddly enough, has been via Steam Deck where it works smoothly for some reason. However, I've only played with my buddy Ramen, who also has a Steam Deck, and from what I've heard, you can't play online with Windows players. Since I can't do online super smoothly, eventually I really want to try playing local co-op of Sparking Zero. Still, it sucks at the moment that the hyperbolic time chamber is the only stage that works on co-op, which lends credibility to split screen being a last minute addition. Thankfully, there's a mod that fixes that issue on PC that came out really quick, which I still need to try out. Despite not being able to get a smooth online connection on my desktop due to my bad Wi-Fi, the game thankfully has a lot of content. This includes the story mode, which I've heard complaints about due to its slideshow nature at certain points. However, personally, I don't think that's entirely a bad thing, as there are a lot of games that have gone through Z's story, including the 2020 game Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I already have that game, which I really want to play through at some point. So many games have covered the same material that I wonder how VAs feel voicing the same stories over and over again. Anyway, I can excuse the slideshow presentation to an extent, but still I will admit some narration rather than simple text would have been nice. Still, the one thing this game has over Kakarot is telling stories from Super. So far, I've played a lot of Goku story mode episodes and even a bit of Gohan's. While not perfect, what I do like about the Sparking Zero episodes is that it's a great quick way to experience the story. Because of this game's story mode, it's helped me fill in the blanks in my head about certain aspects of the lore while also enjoying the gameplay. One thing that stood out to me from the game was when I was fighting against Boo in Goku's story. Hearing Vegeta's uplifting monologue was really great motivation during the battle.
I used to fight for the sheer pleasure of it, sparing no one. I killed for dominance, to feed my insatiable pride. But you fight to kill, or even to win, only to test your limits and become the strongest you could possibly be. You showed mercy to everyone, even me, as if you knew one day I would possess the tiniest sliver of a soul. And here I am, fighting alongside of you. You defy all logic.
It's here I finally got to hear some great development from his once villainous character who gained a new appreciation for the fighting spirit of the Saiyan he once tried to kill. This was a really fun way to experience that moment from the anime. I always wondered how Goku and Vegeta became allies later in Z and Super, and this game was a nice way to learn that. I've heard the game just covers stories from Z and Super, however, and not GT or any of the movies like the previous games. I am fine with the game only focusing on stories from the anime. The only thing I am disappointed about though is that Super Broly's story is not covered in the game. Still, it is great the characters from those pieces of Dragon Ball media are there. Another cool thing this game has is what if branches that can get you alternate alternate endings. The game has a wide array of episodes besides Goku, where you can play as other characters like Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Frieza, and Goku Black. There's also unlockable episodes with Future Trunks and Jiren, which you can unlock by playing Goku Story Mode episodes where they both appear. I really like how much content there is in this game, so even though my internet struggles to play online, there is a lot of content I can enjoy, like the story mode. Not only did I enjoy the story mode in CPU battles, but there is so much character in this game's menu, just like the other Budokai Tenkaichi games. I've only played a bit of the third game, which I noticed right away has some very creative 2D menus. One interesting change this game made was making the menu locations and characters 3D. I love the creativity of this game's menu, which features Goku transporting himself various places. The game menu having this format is really neat, as it makes playing the game feel like you're in the lively world of Dragon Ball. The last thing I want to mention is that, like in Tenkaichi 3, Chi-Chi goes over the history of Dragon Ball characters. In Tenkaichi 3, it took place in a library, and yeah, she definitely has a bone to pick with blonde Super Saiyans for some reason.
My Gohan is rapidly becoming a delinquent.
Here we get a modernized take on this, where Chi-Chi, Bulma, and Videl chill in a Discord called Talk Together.
Super Saiyans drive me nuts! My whole family looks like a bunch of delinquents after they transform, and they never listen to me.
Never change, Chi-Chi, never change. Overall, I love the packaging of this game, the wide variety of characters, and the awesome gameplay. Prior to playing Sparking Zero, I saw the movie Super Broly in theaters and loved it. My takeaway from the movie was it was one big fight, but that's expected from the Dragon Ball franchise. That was when I became more interested in watching Dragon Ball again. Sadly, I did not watch the superhero movie in theaters, but I watched it much later on Discord with friends, and I loved it as well. When I heard about Sparking Zero coming out, I started rewatching Dragon Ball Z Kai. Lately, I've also been watching Daima as well, and with the plot focusing on Goku becoming a kid again, it's gotten me interested in watching OG Dragon Ball again, which I've been rewatching too. I am especially interested in the English dub of Daima, since Stephanie not only is back as Goku, who she voiced in the OG series. While Akira Toriyama may have passed, his works will forever live on, including the newer projects he never got to see completed, Sparking Zero and Daima. Still, I feel like deep down he is happy in the afterlife, knowing people are enjoying the last Dragon Ball video game and anime he had a hand in. At the moment, Dragon Ball isn't done yet, as the super manga has outlived the anime, with someone other than Toriyama working on that person being Toyotaro. Dragon Ball still has a ton of new content on its way, like more episodes of Daima and DLC for its other games. This includes a Dragon Ball Daima Demon Realm DLC for Kakarot. Also, Goku Mini is in Xenoverse 2, but who cares since Sparking Zero is out now and he's also in that game. I want to end the video to say that we should appreciate the Dragon Ball content while we still have it. I don't know what direction the Dragon Ball franchise will go after Daima, but what I do know is I have a ton of new and old media to enjoy from that franchise, whether it be the manga, anime, the movies, and especially the games. This has been ShadeX, and I hope you all feel nothing but good vibes.